Well, wait a minute. There we go. Good morning, everyone. All right, welcome to Unity Clear Lake Center in Lower Lake. Um, we are very, very fortunate this morning. Are you kidding? We're honored to have Dr. Will Tuttle with us today. And as you know, he is an acclaimed composer, pianist, and educator. And let's close our eyes, and he is going to present a musical meditation to start our service. Thank you, Will.
All right, thank you, Barbara. And yeah, this will just be a short piece of original music. And the whole idea for the service today is I'm going to be playing waltzes. So this is a 3/4 triple time.
Oh, so beautiful. Thank you, Will. Thank you. All right, I would like to start the service with some brief announcements and remind you all that our church will be open next Sunday. And Patricia Holler, our licensed Unity teacher, will continue her series on the Big Leap. Very, very interesting. And that's our potluck Sunday. So if you attend, please bring something to share with us all. And then our final Zoom service on April 28th will be Reverend Bob Brock from Sacramento. Outer symbols and their inner meaning, and he is always fabulous. And our wonderful Bill Barros will be blessing us with music.
I think, Barbara, I think do you mean October 8th? You said April 8th.
I believe I meant September.
September. Oh, September. No, no, now it's
Well,
September 14th.
Will.
I,
What am I looking? I mean, duh.
Barbara, I think you mean the 28th of
oh,
September.
28th.
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 Okay.
And I said April. Guess what?
Yeah.
I said my
That's your
birthday.
birthday.
April 28th. Hey, folks, you never know. And I appreciate letting you all know that our final Zoom service will be September 28th. Oh, my.
That's okay.
It's what it is. Okay, everyone. And we truly appreciate your love offerings always. Just mail to Unity, P.O. Box 755, Lower Lake, California, 95453. Thank you so much.
That's
Oh my,
that's
okay.
Lakeport zip code.
95457. Sorry.
I'm glad I
Okay, people.
Slow down, Barbara.
Lower Lake, P.O. Box 755-95457. What would I do without my friends today? I'm so excited about you, Will, that I can't keep it straight. Just seeing you. I mean, you are so marvelous. All right, everybody. What am I going to do next? Well, here we go. Now, I would like to read to you carefully our invocation affirmation, and this is who we are. First, there is only one presence and one power active in my life, God the good, omnipotent. And then there is only one presence and one power active in Unity, Clear Lake Center, God the good, omnipotent. And then finally, there is only one presence and one power active in our world, God the good, omnipotent. And you know the 5 basic ideas of unity, which are really the foundation of unity. The first one, God is absolute good, everywhere present. Human beings have a spark of divine spirit within them, the Christ consciousness within. Therefore, they are inherently good. Human beings create their experience by the activity of their thinking. Thoughts held in mind produce after their kind. Prayer is the process that affirms our connection with God mind and brings forth wisdom, healing, and everything good. And number 5, finally, knowing and understanding universal laws, also called truth, are not enough. A person must also live the truth that he or she knows. And we would like to continue now with some beautiful music from Will. Thank you, Will.
All right, sounds good. So yes, I'd like to play a piece of music that just came to me this morning. You know, every morning after meditation, I come out to the piano and just play something, and every once in a while a melody will come through that I can write down because I think it's really worthwhile. And that happened this morning, which is kind of neat. And then Madeline comes and joins with me on the silver flute and we play together. So I'd like to play the piece of music that came to me this morning. It's fresh and alive here. And yeah, maybe I'll go ahead and switch the camera over. So here we go. This is it.
Wow. That was fabulous. Thank you. Thank you so much. You had my friend dancing. It was lovely. Oh, wow. And so now here we are. I am going to read the daily word for September the 14th, 2025. And it's brave. Think about that word brave. Through the power of God within me, I am brave. If I want to have a greater, more expansive experience of life, I must be brave and move beyond the trepidation that holds me back. I do not judge myself for hesitating, but I don't let it stop me. Instead, I take my reluctance as a cue to call upon the strength of God within me to push past my fear and move forward. So much life lies on the other side of my fear. I believe I am meant to live a fulfilling, satisfying life. Whether I am interested in having grand adventures or simply stepping out of my comfort zone and trying new things, I can rely on the divine within as I summon the courage to do new things. I affirm I am brave. As this becomes the truth of my heart, my experience of my life expands. And from 2 Timothy 1:7, for God did not give us a spirit of cowardice, but rather a spirit of power and of love and of self-discipline. Through the power of God within me, I am brave. And I think Will's talk today is going to inspire us to be brave. And as we row our boats down the stream. Will, thank you.
Okay, thanks, Barbara. And I love that reading. I think that's very appropriate for our theme today of courage and bravery and living our life relying on the inner wisdom that we have and connecting with the power of love. It was interesting that reading from 2 Timothy that tied those three together, that tied together courage and love and the third thing, discipline, or I would say diligence, to have the energy and the focus in our life to manifest our spiritual practice, to be a force for healing in our world, each one in our own unique way. So I'd like to begin the time here in the service for going more deeply with this message that Barbara just mentioned, which is rowing our boats home with a meditation. So since I'm here at the piano, I'll just go ahead and invite everyone to join with me, and I'll be playing while I'm speaking here on this. So let's take a few minutes for our meditation time and turn our attention within. And let's connect with our breathing. So with every exhalation now, we just relax more deeply into this present moment, allowing ourselves to let go of any thoughts of the past or of the future, to come more deeply into this holy moment. Right now is the only holy moment. And so with every exhalation, we enter more deeply into our true home, which is this very moment right now, without any fears or delusions, being aware of the infinite life of which we are a manifestation. The infinite love that is the source of our life and the life of all living beings. So now we give thanks for this precious opportunity that we have to be together here in our spirit of aspiration, of our yearning to realize the truth that we are for the benefit of all, to awaken to the inner wisdom that is our true nature. And we give thanks for this Unity Center in Lake County, California. Everyone who helps support this Unity ministry that is focused on creating a sacred space of truth and harmony, of joy and healing, of unity, of all living beings with the one life that lives through us all. So we give thanks for this Unity ministry and for the movement that is around the globe, the spiritual impulse to awaken from the delusion of separateness to the truth of the infinite interconnectedness of all manifestations of life. We give thanks for all of our teachers, for all of the teachings of all the world's wisdom traditions that help us to turn away from the delusion of separateness to the truth that we are. And we give thanks for this community and for all of our friends and neighbors and loved ones, for the whole spiritual community of humanity on the great adventure of awakening to our true nature. We give thanks for the beautiful earth and all the mountains and rivers and oceans, the forests and islands, all the animals celebrating their lives here in the waters and in the air, teaching us to live according to our own true nature. We give thanks knowing that the light that shines at the heart of the universe shines always in our heart and in every cell of our being, bringing every dimension of our life into alignment with our purpose, with the reason we are here on this earth. So we just take a moment now and allow the music to deepen our connection with our true nature. Abiding in the truth of being, abiding in our true home, knowing that what we are was never born and will never die, that we are infinite and eternal consciousness. That we are a child of the infinite love. All beings are our brothers and sisters. May all beings be happy and at peace and free. And may we all realize the original brightness of our own minds and hearts. And may we continue to work together to build a more enlightened society, a world that reflects the truth that we are, the inner Christ, Spirit that shines the light of loving kindness on all living beings. Through the power and through the presence of the infinite Spirit of truth and love, we give thanks, knowing this is so, and so it is. Thank you, everyone, for joining together in our meditation time. And I'd like to go ahead and talk about the main message for today, which is based on this old song that we all learned as children called "Row, Row, Row Your Boat." And I'll go ahead and play it here. And it's also a waltz. Like I said earlier, the theme for today musically is waltzes. Waltzes are triple time. There's two main kinds of rhythm, actually, in music. There's triple and there's duple. Duple time is sort of the foundation of rock and roll and church hymns and so forth. But waltzes, they're based on three beats to the measure instead of 2 or 4 beats to the measure. And you can also combine them you have syncopation, which is a whole other thing. But the thing, researchers have discovered that the waltz, the triple time, is extremely healing. It's very healthy. It just, our body, if you play a waltz, the body just starts in training to that. All of the different cycles, the heart and the different rhythms that we have going on all the time, not only our pulse, but our digestive system and our breathing system and all the hormonal systems just seem to get much stronger, and our immune system gets stronger and so forth. So it's really good, I think, to be aware of this, that this waltz tempo is something that's very healing, and not just healing, but inspiring and uplifting. And so it's interesting to me that this little song, which we all learned and we don't think anything about, row, row your boat, is a waltz. No one knows where it came from. It's a mystery. It just emerged. It looks like it emerged in the minstrel era in the United States, back in the 1800s. It's really kind of neat, before there was computers and internet, or before there was television and radio, way before that, there was vaudeville, and before vaudeville, there were the minstrels, and so they would just kind of travel around somehow or other on horseback, and in little carriages and things, and they would bring music to the towns and cities around the United States, and so somewhere along the line, this melody got invented, and it's a waltz, and I'll go ahead and play it. It's a beautiful little melody. Row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. Merrily, 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 life is but a dream. One more time. Row, row your boat gently down the stream. Merrily, 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 life is but a dream. And it's this beautiful little waltz melody, and the words are very interesting. They're very deep, actually. And so I like to go into the words a little bit and look into the spiritual significance of what they're saying. It's interesting that we all learn this as little children, as a nursery school rhyme, or as a little nursery school song that we kind of sing. And to me, it's fantastic that we actually learn this. It's like an escape out of the prison of human delusion and suffering that we're all more or less trapped in. If we were given this clue, when we're this little, like 3 years old, they teach us this. It's like, this is your way out. If you actually sing this song and live by this song, you will awaken spiritually and be a force for healing and love in our world. And it's like the other one, Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star. That's another great one. These are the two main ones, but I think Row, Row, Row Your Boat is even especially powerful. So let's talk about it. So row, row, row your boat. So what does that mean? So basically, the idea is a boat, what is it? It's a vehicle. This is one of the most powerful ancient symbols cross-culturally in the spiritual tradition in the world, is the symbol of the boat. The symbol of the boat, what does the boat do? It takes you from this shore to the other shore. What does that mean? Well, that means this shore represents where I am right now in my life, with all of my problems and delusions and diseases and everything else. And the other shore represents the potential, the fully awakened, joyful, free, the paradise, right? On the other side of the water. Remember that? The Europeans, they thought, if we go across this ocean, we'll find a paradise. They found it. They just ruined it, but it was here. But the idea is that we can cross the ocean, and that's in the Buddhist tradition. What is the ocean that we're crossing? It's called samsara. Samsara is an old Sanskrit word that means delusion and suffering. So it's an ocean. It's vast. There's no end to the amount of war and conflict and misery and disease and violence we can inflict on each other, because it breeds, conflict breeds more conflict. So this is the ocean of suffering. That's kind of what we're born into in many ways, of delusion. And so as long as we're in this state of delusion, then we suffer, right? But the beautiful teaching in all the world's spiritual traditions that Jesus pointed to, and the Buddha and all these great spiritual teachers, is that it's possible to awaken out of that the kingdom of heaven is within us. And that this ocean of suffering that seems to be so real is actually an illusion. So we use the vehicle, which is our boat, as the capacity that we have to awaken out of delusion. That's the boat. So the teaching is row, row, row your boat. In other words, practice. Get out there, get your paddle, and go ahead. Because the beautiful thing is, there's more to it. I'll go on a little bit more. We have the water. We have the boat, we have the ocean, we also have the stream. So row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. This is another huge symbol. What does the stream represent? The stream actually represents the way. Some people, when they translate the Bible, they actually, instead of calling it the Bible, they call it the way. In the Taoist tradition, what is the Tao? Tao means the way. In the Buddhist tradition, there's a word dharma, which means the teachings, and there's a word dharmata, which means the way of the teachings, like living our life in harmony with the way. So what is the way? It is the stream, because we enter the stream, and the beautiful thing about the stream is that it's going in a certain direction, right? It has a current. And so what we're here to do is to row, row, row our boat. In other words, to do the spiritual practice with our vehicle, our body, right? Our body and mind, our capacity to speak and think and act. That's our vehicle. And to go and to enter the stream. We're born into the stream. So we're born onto the stream, and we're going down the stream, right? It's carrying us. And that's the greatest news. I mean, it is carrying us. We don't have to go. It doesn't say row your boat hard up the stream. I mean, we can do, in a way, we have to do that because in many ways our whole society is going upstream. It's kind of going the wrong way. But if we go with the stream, in other words, if we go with the divine current, the love that is our source, if we just connect with our inner wisdom, we're going down the stream. And that's a beautiful thing. And how do we do this? How do we go down the stream? We're paddling along, right? We're paddling down the stream, or rowing along, I should say rowing. How should we do it? What should be our attitude as we go down the stream? Merrily, right? We're going down the stream merrily. Not just one time, 4 times, 5 times, actually. Merrily, 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 merrily. Okay, 4 times. So 4 times merrily. That's really emphasizing it. So the whole idea is that our job is to be happy. That's our purpose. Our purpose here on this earth is to row our boat gently down the stream of life in harmony with the divine flow of beauty that's all around us, and do it with great joy and gusto and happiness, and to savor the beauty that's all around us all the time. But the key is not only merrily, but gently down the stream. That's the key thing, because in many ways in our society we're taught to do it rather violently. And so one of the things, like, I'll have to bring it in, I've been a vegan now for 45 years, and the more we show kindness and compassion to other human beings, to animals, to ecosystems, the more we come home to our own center of freedom and joy and kindness, because whatever we sow, we reap. So if we sow seeds of kindness and love and joy and freedom with our body, speech, and mind as we go through our days, rowing down the stream every day, gently, with love and and tenderness and mercy and kindness and compassion and empathy for other expressions of life, because really everyone we ever meet is having problems, right? We're all trying to get down the stream, but we have obstacles. And so the more we're gentle, that word gentle is critically important. That we every day when we wake up in the morning think, how can I row this vehicle down the stream of life in a gentle way, gently for myself and for others. So we're buying food that is made with the most harmony, organic, whole, I would say plant-based foods, for example, that we're doing our best to, when we speak to people, to see the best in them and to share kindness and love and concern and listen to their problems and to just be friendly with each other. The more we're friendly and kind and loving, it builds this underlying current of health and freedom in our society. There's great, as you know, there's tremendous forces right now that are trying to divide us with fear and anger and hatred and all these things. So that's the opposite of this, rowing our boat merrily, 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 gently down the stream with the current. This is all extremely important. It's very, very important to understand this. But then, with all of that, comes the kicker. This is the spiritual, like really it takes it to a whole other level. Life is but a dream. Oh, really? Life is but a dream? What does that mean? So this is enormously profound. And this is, again, it goes along with all the teachings of Jesus and the Buddha and all the great spiritual masters who said this over and over again. The kingdom of heaven is at hand. That's reality. This world that we think is real, in many ways, is a dream. It's an arising in our consciousness. So I want to go into this just a little bit in the short time we have left here. So everything we see, hear, taste, touch, smell, and think about comes in through our senses, and or it arises in our consciousness. And we think it's real. And in a sense, it's real, right? I mean, but in a sense, it's not real, because everything that comes into my eyes and ears and nose, we know now, it's translated into basically electrical currents that go into our brain, and our brain interprets it. And so it's actually an interpretation. And I've had this experience, and I'm sure all of you have had this experience, when you go to sleep at night and have a dream, and it is real. I mean, my dreams are absolutely real. I dream in full color. I feel, I smell, I taste, I touch. It's absolutely, totally real in the dream. When I'm in the dream, it's absolutely real. I can feel feelings of joy or fear or whatever. I can see darkness and light. All these things are happening. And so when I wake up in the morning, I say, oh, that was just a dream. It was just in my mind. It didn't really happen. And all the great teachers, what's the one fundamental word that is used for spirituality? It's awakening. We awaken out of the dream of this world that we think is real as it is. And it's not to say that it doesn't have a certain reality. Our dreams have a reality too while we're in them. But this world is a dream. And the Buddha had a number of, for example, metaphors that he used to try to help people understand what this world is. He said, this world is like a dream. It's like a bubble on a lake, and it's going to pop any second. It's like dew on the morning grass, and it's going to be gone any second. It's like a flash of lightning in the night, and it's just here for a second. You know, this transitoriness of our life, our life goes by very quickly. And so we're born, we live maybe 7, 8, 9, 10 decades, and then we're gone. And so our life is like this melody. You know, it has a beginning. We have some challenges. And then the melody's over. It's gone. We come and we go. Where no human being or any being is here for more than a lightning flash, a few seconds, really. We think it's pretty long, But as I think I've mentioned it here before, maybe they interviewed the oldest living human being on planet Earth. They asked her, "What's it like to be 119 years old?" And she said, "It just went by so fast." So we have to realize that our life goes by very quickly, and when we leave, it'll probably seem like it was a dream, right? We'll look back on it, and one of the things I think we realize as we grow spiritually is that our reality is our consciousness. It's not just our body. When we're lost in delusion, the material world seems like that's all there is. And so we're trying to get more, and we're trying to accumulate, and we're trying to keep away, and we're trying to compete, and we're lost in all of this struggle. And as we evolve and our vibration goes higher, and we realize we're infinite eternal consciousness that was never born and will never die, and we have, for a few short decades, we function through this wonderful vehicle that we have, then we realize it's the quality of our consciousness, how loving we can be, how generous, how free we are. That's all that matters, is the quality of the vibration of our consciousness, and our actions come out of that. So when we understand this, then we see more and more that life is but a dream. And it comes and goes. And there's a very profound, I think, and true saying that we'll never be more dead than we are right now when we think we're in this physical body. Over and over again, if you read the accounts of people who have left their bodies, they always say the same thing. They say, gosh, when they come back, say they have a car accident and they're clinically dead for, for maybe a few minutes and something, and they come back. They always say the same thing. They say, gosh, I was so alive. I left my body and wow. And I came back into my body and I felt like, man, I'm in this, I'm in kind of a dream here. So these are all clues. And when we're little kids, we hear this song, row, row, row your boat, move along here, gently down the stream, merrily, and see the beauty around us, because life is but a dream. It's very fleeting, and that is why it is so beautiful. It's beautiful because it's transitory. We have only a few short decades here, and so every morning I can wake up and think, wow, I got another day. Who knows? This might be the last one. We never know. So it's precious. Every moment is precious, actually. Every moment is precious. I can sit here, look at you. I can look out at like I'm looking out right now over a lake and with mountains, and I can see the vultures flying by right now. I mean, I have an amazing view here, actually. I see mountains and hills. It's really gorgeous. But that's true of planet Earth. Planet Earth is so beautiful. And the trees and the birds and the children in all of us are just manifestations of an unbelievably spectacular beauty. And I don't think we realize it. We kind of go along and like, well, how am I going to get enough money to whatever? We're completely lost in this whole slavery system we've been born into since we were little kids. The way out is up. The way out is through spirituality. Realize it's a dream, focus on the truth. And like Jesus said, seek ye first the kingdom of heaven, and everything else will be added unto you. I've discovered that. I left home right after college. My brother and I, we decided we were going to walk across the country all the way to California from Massachusetts with no money. And we did. We didn't. We walked as far as Buffalo, New York. Then we ended up walking all the way to Alabama with no money. And we didn't die. We didn't starve. And we just knew that if you focus on spirituality, that somehow everything else takes care of itself. And I'm in my 70s. I'm 72, and we've done everything by just donation, right? We just play the piano and go around, do things, whatever people want to give, and it works. It works. If we focus on giving and loving and taking care of each other and spiritual understanding, then we're living our purpose. And when we're living our purpose, we realize that that's the real reality. This world is kind of like a gymnasium. You go to a gym and you have heavy weights to make you strong. And so we come to this world, it's like a dream, and we have heavy weights. We have, wow, we can get injured, and it's like, oh man, it really hurts. Or we can get emotionally devastated when someone close to us dies or abandons us or whatever. But that's all going to the gym. It's getting stronger. And it's understanding that nothing can touch us because it's a dream. I can be in a dream and I have this horrible monster chasing me and he's going like, what's going to happen? And then we realize he can't hurt me because it's a dream. It's in my mind. It's all in our consciousness. And once we understand that, then what Barbara talked about this morning becomes much easier. Then courage comes because we realize we're essentially undamageable. We are. Whatever disease we have, it's very temporary, and we will awaken out of that sooner or later. So courage comes out of that. But what she said was so beautiful from 2 Timothy, courage and love, they go together. That's the understanding that is our true nature. And then out of that, and actually what supports that is discipline. And discipline is a beautiful word. It has kind of a negative connotation. We think of discipline as, oh, I got to do this, I got to do that. But there's a really tremendously liberating quality about discipline, because if my mind is not disciplined, then I'm just going to go with whatever the culture is conditioning me with, right? We're all being indoctrinated by the media and by education and by people around us, our parents and all this stuff. So that's why the spiritual teachings are so important. They show us there's another way, that we can take control of our own mind and we can be disciplined and we can focus on the truth that what I am is a manifestation of the infinite love that is the source of all life, and live from that place. That seems like discipline. It's like playing the piano. Like I couldn't play the piano. And my father said, well, you can play like me, but you got to practice. So by practicing, then I can do it, right? Our mind is an instrument like a piano. If we don't have discipline, it'll be like, and we wonder why is this all this disharmony, and everybody in the whole culture is going around. We think, yeah, so that's music. Yep. Nobody ever taught us. That's what the spiritual teachings are about. It's like you can make beautiful music. It's up to us. It's our mind. It's how we discipline our mind, how we focus, what we bring forth in our consciousness. And every moment is an opportunity. Every relationship's an opportunity. And so row your boat gently down the stream. That's the discipline. Which I think goes with that is the word diligence. The very last word that the Buddha said, the last word before he left, he said, work out your salvation with diligence. That's it. Without diligence, nothing is possible. If we just like, well, I'll get to it, we get nowhere. And with diligence, anything is possible. Anything. If we put our mind to something and focus on it and devote ourselves to it, we can do anything. And that's a beautiful truth. And that's what Jesus pointed at. He was a manifestation of that, of the one-pointedness of focusing on spiritual awakening as a benefit of all living beings. And that's our purpose. And we also have to remember that we get plenty of tries, right? We'll come back again and again and again and again and again till we get it. So enjoy the stream, enjoy the ride, gently down the stream. We're all here to help each other. We're here to be teachers for each other on how we can row our boat gently down the stream, merrily, 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 merrily. Life is but a dream. So I'd like to close with a short piece of, we got just about the right amount of time here. So I'd like to close with a short piece of music and really just thank all of you for joining us on this little travel down the stream of the teachings, because that's really what the stream is. The stream is the spiritual teachings, the Dharma, the spiritual wisdom teachings that really ultimately cannot be contained in words. The words can point us in the direction, but the teachings really are beyond words. They're in the heart's awakening to the oneness of all life. And in that awakening, then instead of trying to follow the teachings propel us forward, like our boat is down the stream. We're being propelled by the current, the great current. There's a current. Can you feel it? I think it's happening right now on planet Earth. I think there's a current that's uplifting humanity. Even though there's all this stuff in the media, all these fears and assassinations and conflict and so forth, but under that there's a current of upliftment, of awareness, of healing, of truth, and it's that current that's unstoppable. That's the divine life. That's the stream that's propelling us onward. And the more we realize that life is but a dream, the more we ride that current merrily. So I'll just start out with that theme, row, row, row your boat, and just do a free improvisation on that, and we can kind of close with that. So again, everyone, thanks for your efforts to awaken to the beauty of your own true nature, the beauty of the life around us, understanding again that one life lives through us all. When we really understand that, one life lives through all of us, all living beings. This is in the key of D and F, which is the heart.